Mr. Glover to Barcelona.
It's good to be here.
Thank you. And we are going to talk with Mr. Julian Glover, who played Aris Christatos in 1981 for Your Eyes Only. We know that it's known that Roger Moore is always making jokes on set. Do you remember any funny situation, any joke when you were filming?
Roger is always very amusing. Sometimes his jokes are so bad you have to laugh, but sometimes they're very good. This is not so much a joke as something. He has a wonderful way of making it easy on the set for everybody. He will make a joke when you're feeling unhappy, and he's very good at that. And there was one morning at about 4 o'clock in the morning, in a big scene, exterior scene, when all the extra actors were local people in Corfu, and they were all the society people who thought it was such a good thing to be in a film. But by 4 in the morning, they knew what it was like to be in a film at 4 in the morning, and they were getting very, very grumpy. They were starting to move away. So Roger realized that something needed to be done. He didn't tell anybody. I had some prawns delivered to me by the waiter. What he hadn't told me is that the waiter came across and poured the prawns into my lap. And then we realized that the waiter was his wife, with moustache, wig, beard, and all that. And he had set the whole thing up. And everyone went, "Ah!" And then she pulled off her wig. And there was Louisa. And that made it such a good mood in the morning. Everybody laughed and they all went back to work. Yeah. He's a great man, Roger. Great man.
Great.
He called me Mr. National Theatre because I work in the theatre.
Okay. And if you could have changed anything for Your Eyes Only, what would be?
To change it?
Change what about the film, about the script, about the...
No. It was a very good script. It was a very good story. And in my opinion, the reason for the success, it was a very successful film. It was because there were no strange people in it. There's no people with cross eyes.
Very real.
Yeah, all real people. Both myself and Topol. Were they the villain? Who was the villain? That question was good. And also, James Bond had to do everything better than anybody else. He had to ski better, run better, shoot better, drive better, everything. Not by pressing a button and everything blows up, as in other films. They went right back to that. In my opinion, that is the reason that film was so successful. And a very good love story. Carol Bouquet was lovely. Yeah.
Okay. And when filming for Your Eyes Only, did you improvise or strictly follow the...
No, absolutely follow the script, yes. Yeah. It's a rule, I have a rule. If the script is a good one and you want to do the script, do the script. Don't tell people when you've said, yes, I'll do it, I don't like it, we'll change it. Unless, of course, the director wishes to improvise, that will not be in the film. And I can tell you a very good one from Indiana Jones. There's a scene in Indiana Jones when it's discovered that I am the villain. And the two men are tied with their hands behind their backs. And they're talking to each other. And at one point, and Sean Connery made this up, the character says, the girl, she's German of course, and he said, how do you know that? She talks in her sleep. Sean made that up on the floor. We roared with laughter. That was improvised. And Spielberg said, yes we'll have that. And you know the other one in that film about the shooting, when the big man came at him with the two big swords in the market square. Two big swords. And he just gets... This is because Harrison was very ill that day. He was very ill. And he had rehearsed a long fight. But he was being sick, and he said, let's not do that, let's just do this. the funniest moment in the film. Anyway,
everybody
right, you're right on it.
Okay. And what else? And Roger Moore, perhaps he was improvising sometimes?
Not with the script. No, not with the script. Not in my film.
Okay.
Not in my scenes.
Okay. Ah, okay.
Perhaps, have you heard that he does?
Yeah.
Well, maybe with other people, but
some years ago, your name was between those who more wrote as possible James Bond.
yeah.
Did you ever make any casting or something?
No, I did a test.
You did a test?
It's,
Test?
it's
or?
out there somewhere.
Really?
My test is somewhere there.
Yeah.
Unless it went down somebody's lavatory. Yes, I did a test.
Was it
There were about 5 of us did tests for it. But that was just before Roger took over.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard that Roger Moore was being considered. And we thought, there's
No chance.
no chance. No. We were right.
Okay, and the test was about you talking with someone, or
It was no dialogue at all. It was a movement only scene, coming into a room, looking around the room, finding a gun, handling the gun to see if I could physically do it well. They wanted to see my face this way, that way, that way. I think I had one line to myself, so they could hear my voice.
okay.
But that's all it was. I think I did it 3 times, and that was it. The end of that. Never heard another word until they announced Roger Moore.
And if you had been chosen as James Bond, what do you think you could have given to that character?
Which would be
Contribution to the,
Your turn, yeah.
What could have been your contribution to the character?
you.
You. Okay.
I would play it as if they wanted me to play it. When they wanted Roger to play it, when they wanted Pierce Brosnan to play it. You play yourself. You play aspects of your own character. You use your own voice, your own intelligence, your own muscles, and your own eyes. And it's not like Blofeld. You know what I mean? And it's not like Aris Christatos, who I had to be somebody completely else, someone who was not Julian at all. But James Bond, Pierce Brosnan is very like, and Roger Moore is very like as he was in The Saint. Remember him in The Saint? He was Roger, but being lovely.
Very. What do you think about possible evil twin of Aris Christatos trying to revenge James Bond in the next James Bond movie?
He's dead.
An evil twin. An evil twin from
A
Aris.
dream.
No, an evil twin. Twin.
Oh, a twin of his. A lovely idea.
Would you be interested?
Of course. The old twin. What was I going to say? Yes, the trouble with when you play villains, and I do them, is you can never do the sequel, because you're always killed.
That's why I say about the...
Yes, I would love to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
But there was a lot of... Interesting you say that, because Cubby Broccoli, his wife, Dana, and his daughter, Barbara, they liked me very much, and they didn't like me being killed, and they were trying to work out yet a way to do it. And Cubby said, no, don't be ridiculous.
Next one. Well, and I think it's almost all, but as we ask to all our interviewees, which is your favorite James Bond?
And not because I'm in it. I just think it's the best made of those films, of that period of film with Roger. I think not the last one, the one before.
Casino Royale.
Yeah, was very good. It's a different sort of film.
Yeah.
Some of the dialogue in that, particularly between him and the girl, was so sophisticated, really sophisticated. And he is such a hard man.
Yeah.
Everything is hard about him. Very attractive, very handsome. You know, he's a very nice man. You know him. You've met him? No.
Not yet.
But you will. He's a very nice, gentle man, but his performance is so hard, and he brings that into his eyes. There's always something happening here with him, and I thought Casino Royale was a very, very good film of the modern ones.
Yeah. And which is the best actor playing James Bond for you?
I think the best actor is Daniel Craig, but the best Bond was Sean Connery. He invented him. He invented him. Again, he was Sean Connery. He wasn't anything else. He was Sean Connery. But he just invented that whole smooth, wonderful, strong, sexy, intelligent, wry, naughty James Bond, which is what was picked up later. That's why Timothy Dalton didn't work at all, for my opinion. He completely failed in the part. And
But just last just
yeah, I'm not surprised. George Lazenby was hopeless too. His voice was not George Lazenby's voice. You know, he was dubbed by who was it? George Baker. You know, George Baker was also in the film, and Bond spent a lot of his time imitating George Baker's character, pretending to be him. Well, George Baker did that voice. They reduced as much as possible the voice of George Lazenby because it was so bad.
So during the
filming? They did it. Yeah. Yes,
I didn't know that.
No, but to be serious, I mean that is serious. But I think yes, Daniel Craig is the best actor to play the part. Pierce is pretty good. Pierce is a lovely actor, but the best actor to play the part is Daniel Craig, but the best Bond is always Connery. Sean, I've known Connery since he was 23, and we like each other very much. We're very good friends.
Okay, so that's all.
Suficiente?
Thank you very much for being so kind.
De nada.
And do you mind to sing?
Sure.
Sure.
Soy Julian. Saludo a los fans de James Bond.